stranger things have happened.
Trump revealed the newest chapter of his book, The Art of the Deal, how to screw over your biggest trading partner and end up spending more in the process.
Once Trump began to run, I've spent 2.5 years out there trying to warn people about who this man is.
The complainer-in-chief just announced that on February 1st, he's going to impose a 25% tariff on both Canada and Mexico.
We're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on keeping notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st.
25% on both, sir?
On each.
On each, yeah.
Just 25% on both, each. Who cares? It's all laissez-faire with this idiot. Of course, ignoring the fact that he also declared an energy emergency, and we get a lot of our energy from Canada, so we'll end up having to pay for that as well. But Canada is not going to take those threats lightly. 77% of all of their trade is done with the United States. And so if the United States starts locking up their doors, they're going to do business elsewhere.
As Melanie said, we took note, obviously, of what President Trump said earlier today in Washington. None of this should be surprising. The one thing we've learned is that President Trump at moments can be unpredictable. He said that he would impose 25% tariffs on the Canadian economy and on the Mexican economy. We have spent the last number of weeks preparing potential response scenarios for the Government of Canada in partnership with provinces and Canadian business leaders and union leaders. So our country is absolutely ready to respond to any one of these scenarios. We still continue to believe that it would be a mistake for the American government to proceed with imposing tariffs. It would be a mistake in terms of the cost of living in the United States, in terms of jobs in the United States, the security of supply chains. It would clearly be a difficult moment for the economy of the country. But the good news is the premiers were in Ottawa last week. We agreed on a series of measures that we could enact if the United States government decides to do this. So there's nothing new this evening than was different than a week ago. Our government remains committed, however, as Melanie said, to talking to the Americans about our shared concern around security at the border. If the president and his government believe that we can do more in partnership with the Americans to secure the border, we have a very good news story to tell them. And in our conversation with American officials, we have spoken about our shared commitment to the fight against fentanyl, to ensuring that immigration is orderly and legal. And the shared national security of both countries has been a success between Canada and the United States for decades. So we look forward to continuing those conversations with Canadian business leaders, union leaders, obviously provinces and territories, and the dialogue with American representatives and members of the incoming administration.
Well, I can guarantee the Canadians this. It doesn't matter what you do to your own border. It doesn't matter how little fentanyl flows from Canada to the United States. Trump is going to impose those tariffs not because of any border security, but because he read a book once about McKinley imposing tariffs, and he wants a mountain named after him too. But you heard what they said. Canada is primed and ready to go to enter a full economic war with the United States. It doesn't look like those gas or egg prices are going to go down anytime soon. And I just can't wait to hear the excuses they have about why the Democrats are somehow at fault for the impending price increases at the grocery store. Take a look at what Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, said. Trump declared an economic war on Canada, Ford said in an interview with the Associated Press. We are going to use every tool in our toolbox to defend our economy. Ford said that as soon as Trump imposes tariffs, he will instruct Ontario's Liquor Control Board to pull all American-made alcohol from shelves. We are the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world. I'm going to encourage all the premiers to do the same, Ford said, adding there will be a dollar for dollar tariff retaliation on American goods entering Canada. We are going to target Republican-held areas as well. They are going to feel the pain. Canadians are going to feel the pain, but Americans will feel the pain as well. I have to remind you that Trump started this beef for no reason. There is absolutely no problem with the trade agreements between Mexico, America, and Canada. In fact, when we work together, the three countries become the largest and strongest trade agreement in the world. And yet Trump decides to blow that all up so he can scratch his imperial itch. Outgoing Trudeau also pointed out the hypocrisy in Trump's logic here. Trump wants to usher in a golden age for the US, Trudeau said. If the American economy is going to see the boom that Donald Trump is predicting, they are going to need more energy, more steel and aluminum, more critical minerals, more of the things that Canada sells to the United States every single day. It should be noted that nearly 2.7 billion American dollars worth of goods and services cross the border each day. Canada is the top export destination for 36 states. Our goods and services are about to get a lot more expensive if Trump goes through with this. For their part, Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, stressed that she's going to keep a cool head, that she would look at the wording of what Trump signed rather than listen to the discourse surrounding it. She basically said, let's wait and see, but stressed that Mexico was still open to retaliating with its own tariffs. But Mexico might have bigger problems, as Trump declared that we might just send in the military.
President Trump, if cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
This is actually an executive order designating the cartels and other organizations to be foreign terrorist organizations.
That's a big one.
Yes, sir.
People have wanted to do this for years. So they are now designated as terrorist organizations, foreign, and Mexico probably doesn't want that, but we have to do what's right. They're killing our people. They're killing 250, 300,000 American people a year, not 100, like has been reported for 15 years. It's probably 300,000.
This is an executive.
It's too much stupid, it actually hurts my heart. This guy lives in La La Land, just picking out numbers for the amount of Americans killed by now Mexican terrorists. 300,000? That's just ridiculous. Completely ignoring the fact that the reason why the Mexican cartels are so powerful and have so many arms is because of the United States' lack of gun control. I should remind you that guns are illegal in Mexico. The only reason why the cartel has so much firepower is because of the US. But it's not just fun and games. He can sly smirk all he wants. Donald Trump is inching closer and closer to total fascism. And the Republicans are right along with them. The House GOP has already introduced a bill to let Trump try to buy Greenland.
So you recently introduced a bill. It gives President Trump the congressional authority to acquire Greenland. Tell us more about this.
Well, you know, for some that may sound a little bit crazy, but actually the United States has been eyeing Greenland for over 100 years. Strategically, when you look at it, it's wealthy in resources. And when you see increased activity with Russia and China in the Arctic Circle and the increased activity with the shipping lanes, it's important for the United States to assert itself and say, look, this is our doorstep. This is our area of operation. And we are, quite frankly, the dominant predator, cop, if you will, but it's important that we fight back against China and send them back to their own hemisphere.
That's right, the party of no more wars wants to be the dominant predator and send China back to their own hemisphere by imposing the United States on Greenland? Sure sounds similar to a certain German regime's intention to show that they were the dominant predators. I wonder what happened to them. Folks, it looks like things are going to get a whole lot worse before they get better. We can only hope that the economic turmoil from all of this stops the Republicans in their tracks before they drag us into World War III. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.